This episode of Out of Spec Reviews is brought to you by Magna. More on that later. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to just outside of Great Canyon Roads here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and welcome to a brand new Tesla Model X long range. What's interesting is I've driven plenty of Tesla Model X's. I've done a ton with them. I don't think I've ever made a video with one here on Out of Spec Reviews. So my friend Brandon from the YouTube channel and TikTok channel Tesla Flex offered to obviously bring this car out here for a little challenge we were shooting. That video will be coming up soon. And then tossed me the key to the vehicle and said, go film a review. You've never done it. So here we go. I'm going to share all of my opinions, thoughts, driving dynamic stuff here with a brand new 2022 Tesla Model X long range with the Yoke. I'm looking forward to it. So there are, of course, two Tesla Model X variants available that you can purchase. This is the first of the two. It's a Model X long range, and arguably I think it's the one to buy. Then there's also the Plaid everyone is familiar with, but I really think the Model X is like a great family hauler, daily driver, dog hauler type situation where it's got, you know, this key, you can open and close everything. It just looks hilarious fully opened up like this. I love it. I'm a big Model X fan. Now, in terms of the design, when you close everything on the car, let's see if I can do that from the key. Here we go. It does look a bit like an egg, but this wrap really helps bring out some awesome design here. Also, interestingly, these are the new standard wheels for the Model X, and I think they look amazing. The Model X came out, I believe, in 2016, starting with a 90 kilowatt hour battery pack is the largest option. We are now up to a 100 kilowatt hour pack. It's about a 400 volt system, of course. Two permanent magnet motors here, which is pretty interesting. Tesla used to do an induction motor on the rear, or actually on the front with Model S and X. And now, at least in the car, it's telling me both are permanent magnets. So there's also no clutch disconnect as far as I'm familiar with. And magically, somehow, this thing is just so efficient. We actually took 5 electric cars here from Colorado, and I believe, Brandon, wouldn't you say yours was the most efficient?
It was averaging like 300.
Yeah, just about 300 watt hour per mile on the trip over here, actually doing better efficiency than Drew's brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance. So this thing is super magically efficient. Again, it's the long range dual motor version, and then it's had updates and iterations throughout the years. It then went through its Raven stage where it had a little bit of an updated front motor with permanent magnet, so you could do one pedal driving. And now, of course, this one has the new interior situation with the updated styling. Door actually automatically opens. How about that? Wonderful. You get the Yoke steering wheel, which we'll discuss. It's got a wonderful infotainment system. This one's the 6-seat variant, which is awesome. Great color combo to have a white on white Model X, but of course with the wrap. And then these doors, these Falcon wing doors, were so problematic in the early days, and now they're just rock solid in our experience this week with this thing. No issues, can open up in tight spaces. There's this new control panel back here with USB-Cs here and USB-Cs for the third row. I actually rode in the third row very comfortably last night. You hit this little switch right here, second row goes forward. Super sweet. I remember the early days when these 6-seat configurations with the motors, you could actually get a 7-seat configuration with the motors, were so crunchy and clunky. Now that's not the case. You can see air vents here in the third row, really wonderful. And then just like in terms of build quality, fit and finish, this thing feels tight. There's no squeaks and rattles. I'm really impressed. Here's the new charge port, by the way. Take a look here. Opening up, and look at that, pretty nice. And the reason they've done this, I think, is so they can fit the CCS port for some other markets. Hopefully Tesla will have a CCS adapter in the US soon. I'll show you what I'm thinking, because if we come in here and look at the software, let me just turn down the fan a little bit. We are in Las Vegas and it's 91 degrees out. If I go here to the car, this one, it says CCS adapter support enabled. And here you can see permanent magnet rear and front motors, tow package, all that stuff. Pretty sweet. I like that you can now change the color of the car to match the wrap on the outside. It's really awesome. You just push this little button, the door opens and closes. I, of course, can just hit the brake pedal and the door comes in. You know, all the typical Model X stuff that maybe some of you may not be so familiar with, but to me just feel normal. I guess I have kind of shied away a little bit from Tesla coverage, not because I don't like them. I own a Tesla. I'm a huge Tesla fan, but I feel like there's so many Tesla content creators out there these days that what could I really add to the picture? Anyway, we have some of my friends here with me. We're going to go for a cruise up in the hills and talk about how this thing drives and performs in the canyons, because with some of the newer updates to it, I'm really curious to see how it is, and it feels so fast. I can already tell you, I don't think you need a plaid. Let's jump in, get the cameras going, and go for a rip. This episode is proudly brought to you by Magna. Magna is a mobility technology company that is super unique because they touch every aspect of almost every car on the market, especially a lot of electric vehicles, and they even can produce vehicles from the ground up. Now, you may remember I shot a series just recently testing some of their new electric vehicle powertrains, so stay tuned for a lot of Magna content to come. We're going to be going in depth with some really interesting topics with these guys, and Out of Spec wants to thank Magna for sponsoring this review and tons of other videos to come right here on Out of Spec. We look forward to working with Magna to define and find out what the future of mobility looks like. So we got the full crew in this thing, 6 people.
Woo! And a dog.
Oh yeah, and Ruby's here too. Yeah. So we're gonna not totally rip it. So I've turned the car on by hitting the brake pedal. And thanks so much for letting me use your car, by the way. How do people find you on YouTube?
Search Tesla Flex.
Tesla Flex.
Yeah.
And you have this car, you had a Model S Plaid, you've had a
Model Y,
a
two
Y.
Model 3s.
Yeah, you've had them all.
Yep.
Pretty amazing. And so when I put my foot on the brake, it goes into drive. Do you find that that's pretty reliable?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, there's a few times if I pull too far into a spot, it might like think I'm going forward instead of backwards, but usually it bases it on how I get in the spot.
Very nice. Well, let's crank the AC so that you might see a little bit of fan noise in this video. We'll try to keep it somewhat quick, but pulling out here, of course, I've already gotten used to we'll go like 7 on the fan. I've already gotten used to the yoke wheel for the most part, aside from like catching it in quick handover hands. It's fine, I think, for daily driving on the street. For like track mode in a Model S is like where I think the main issue would be. Like if you're sliding, you're like trying to catch the wheel or whatever. So what's the best way to launch this thing? Because Tesla claims 3.5 to 60?
3.8.
3.8.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels...
It's definitely faster.
And we just supercharged it up to about 80%. We're down to about 70%.
Launch mode.
Yeah, let's try launch mode. So suspension, we'll put it in sport for this. And then you just hit drag strip mode, right?
Yep.
All right, so no one's coming from the left. And, you know, got to do the Tesla thing in drag strip mode. So that's on. Boom, no one's behind. We all ready for this?
Yeah.
It says it's got a condition for peak performance 7 minutes, so it's pretty close.
Well, it doesn't need to. You just hold your foot on the brake.
Yep. Left foot hard on the brake, flooring with the right. Says preparing for launch, suspension entering cheetah stance. Still no one behind us. We'll wait for it because it's still preparing for launch. Ready to launch? Y'all ready?
Yep. Ready. Ooh.
Pretty soft launch compared to a Plaid.
Yeah.
But then ramps up hard. Whoa!
Hard. It holds it.
Yeah, and all the way it just stays sustained performance.
Oh, wow.
So like the only difference between this and the Plaid is just the hard launch.
It's a motor.
Yeah. Wow. Because it just slowly ramped up to peak. If they just brought the peak in sooner, it would have been pretty good.
I'm sure there's going to be a speed boost coming, or an acceleration boost.
So there's also autopilot, and I just clicked this in once, right?
Twice.
So, oh, it just hit it once though.
And I probably did twice, or you might have it
No,
set
I
to
have it
once.
set to once. Yeah. So here we are. Of course, one of the best parts of Tesla, in my opinion, is the Autopilot system. Just great driver assistance, not replacement. I don't think the full self-driving thing is going to happen anytime soon, but I absolutely love that it can just sit in the middle of the lane, makes highway trips so wonderful, and then it has a torque sensor, so you just put a little bit of pressure in the wheel to tell the car that you're still there. And then one nice thing about the system as well is, like, if you don't pay attention, it actually locks you out from the system, and then you have to get out, shut the car off, turn it back on. It's incentivizing people to touch the wheel and to pay somewhat attention to driving. But this one has no radar.
No radar.
How do you find that it works with just camera based?
I haven't really noticed a difference between the Plaid and this.
Really? Yeah. Did your Plaid have a radar?
Yeah.
Ooh,
so they just switched at the end of February.
Yeah. And Drew, you just got a Model 3 without a radar. Do you notice any difference with yours?
Yes, quite a lot.
Really?
None of it good.
None of it good. That's what I've heard, but I've never driven just a camera only car until now. But I've heard phantom braking.
Phantom braking, yeah, just a lot more nags to grab the steering wheel.
Nags, because it's now utilizing this
mine
camera.
doesn't use the camera yet.
Really?
The SNX don't have that enabled. They have the same update that came in summer 2020 about the crashes, but nothing about actually watching an autopilot.
Really? Yeah, because I know
limited to 80.
Yeah, limited to
that's
80.
the worst part.
Yeah. Not even 85?
Nope.
80.
80.
You can go up to 90 in like
in adaptive cruise.
Yeah, just adaptive cruise, but you can't go more than 80.
Right.
And when you if you try to enable and you're like 85, it doesn't let you.
It just says slow down.
It says it's not enabled on this road.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think Elon said he eventually is gonna like add an update, but he said 2 weeks, so that's never.
Yeah, just tweet at Elon. If you're mad, just Elon.
But now they're fully committed to Vision, so it should be soon.
We just need to try the brakes really quick since no one's behind us, so we'll do our typical 70 miles an hour to 0. You guys holding on tight?
Yep.
Ruby's holding on?
Yep.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Those are the best.
That was good. Yeah.
Serious braking performance. Serious braking
Right, Ruby, we're
performance.
saying.
And then a pretty soft accelerator pedal though. Oh, you know what's back? The Model X half shaft wobble.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that?
Yeah.
The brrrr.
Oh yeah.
It's not as bad as the early cars, which felt like they were going to rattle themselves to
Oh, my
bits.
Plaid, I didn't even notice it until I heard someone talk about it. I was like, wait, I'm like 45. Why is it making like the...
And yeah, stuff was just flying everywhere from the brakes, so that's just what happens. So we have a couple different drive mode settings here. We have a chill, sport, and insane for acceleration. Maybe it's just that there's 6 people in here, but it doesn't feel insane compared to what I imagine it would
come
feel.
with insane. I just thought it was chill and sport.
Chill and sport. So that's good that it has something cool. Anyway, I think the acceleration's obviously more than fine for anyone. I do wish it had a bit harder launch though. And then you have 3 steering modes: comfort, standard, and sport. I actually prefer the Yoke in a little bit of a stiffer profile. That's standard. That way that it's not as, I guess, easy to turn. I noticed you keep yours in sport.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of used to it for the Plaid.
Yeah, you're on the Yoke train. You like the Yoke. And I don't mind the Yoke for stuff like this at all. It's actually a great view out the front. I love this new screen. I love this, having this screen right here. Yeah. I could really see us, I almost bought a Model S just recently. The X is like a great dog hauler. I'm really into it. The turn signal thing is interesting, but my friend Ryan developed a circular steering wheel and turn signal and shifter mod that I would totally do on mine.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the shape of the Yoke, and I like how the turn signals work, because it's like an iPhone compared to a flip phone.
Right. Okay. Well,
especially when you like switch lanes.
Your job is a TikToker, right? You TikTok for a living, so that adds up.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. No, but I get it.
Stuff.
But it is interesting to hear that you think this is the better approach.
Yeah. At first, it was kind of weird because it didn't automatically turn off when you got in the lane. You had to like hold your finger over it just for it to switch lanes, and then you have to push it down harder.
And now it's auto cancel.
Yeah. Now it goes on. You press it once, and then it goes, and you switch over, and it finishes.
That's wonderful. And if we take a look here at the suspension as well, there's a few different things. So you have not only height adjustment because of an air component, there's also an active damper. And so we can go use comfort damping and autopilot. So let's just say we put it in auto, sport, and then what does advanced do? Is that even stiffer?
You can tweak stuff.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
so, okay. So, okay, here we go. I see how this works. Down here in damping settings, Jordan, if you can get a little back end view for us here. You can see we have all of the different drive height modes right here. So right now we're in low, or right now we're in low, but we could slam it and air this thing out.
I think we're already slammed, right?
Well, it compensates for it, but yeah, with 6 people in here. I think low is probably the best compromise, but maybe when we hit a canyon, we'll drop it all the way.
Oh, I just heard it.
And then you have your ride comfort from full soft to firm, which is your damping settings. And then what is the difference between handling and ride comfort? Drew, do you know what that could be? What?
I mean, that's... No, I don't.
I don't know what that would adjust separate from...
That's only going to adjust damper. Because this doesn't have like...
will adjust differently.
It might adjust the way...
sway bars.
It doesn't have active sway bars.
Right.
Yeah, so... I don't know. Let's just put everything in full comfort mode right now. So we're in it won't let us go to medium. So low is what you have to drive in.
Yeah.
And so we have everything in like full highway cruising mode. First off, super smooth, really quiet, no wind noise. The loudest thing legit is the air conditioning fan. Let me just turn this down real quick.
Wow.
And it has active sound cancel.
Yeah, I just got that update.
It's really quiet compared to your Plaid.
Yeah, well, because you reviewed it before I had the update.
Right, and I noticed it was loud, and then everyone's like, they're sending an update. I'm like, I can't review a car that doesn't have a thing in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big difference. That's pretty quiet. All right, it's baking in here. Let's just put the AC on with the fan low, just a little bit colder. There we go. Yeah.
My car is probably going to be like 20% down.
Yeah, in your Model 3 back there. So love it for daily stuff. I think getting in and out with the auto door. The motors in the door have changed over the
Yeah,
years.
apparently these ones are a lot better.
Yeah, and they make less noise. They're less clunky, and they're quicker and stronger.
Yeah.
So big fan there. To cancel autopilot, just push in, and the motors sound so good in this thing. And in soft mode, you can feel it pitch and dive, which is pretty cool. So let's now just try that same thing. If we go to suspension, we put everything in full firm. Oh yeah, big difference. Just that's pretty cool. Neat. Well, let's go hit up some canyons, see how it handles, and then that'll be a quick drive in the Model X dual motor long range. We are now at the base of a good canyon, so let's get the car set up in its most aggressive settings. We're going to go very low on the suspension, ride comfort firm, and handling sport. Now, typically I don't like a car to be super stiff, but I don't think the Model X lets you go like hardcore race car mode. Worst case, we can back off the ride comfort. Very interestingly too, is you get all of this great data from your suspension stuff that the car shows, and it even shows you the suspension movement graphed out here. Really love this stuff. I think it's so cool that there is an advanced mode for the nerds to get it. The one thing I can't figure out at the moment though is the difference between ride comfort and handling. They both do have an effect when you're moving on compression and rebound at all four corners. It might just be the logic as to which it stiffens at the right time, so that could be something, I don't know, interesting. But we're going to start in full stiff. We're going to go insane on the acceleration, steering in normal. Sport steering doesn't change the ratio, it's just the amount of electric resistance in the rack, so we'll just keep it in the middle. And yeah, let's go. By the way, the best one pedal driving ever is in Tesla. It just has the best auto hold, the best low speed feel and movements. And then here comes a truck, of course, and right as we're trying to pull out. Bummer. We'll give him some room to get up and we'll go rip up the canyon. All the good signs. Twisty stuff, traction control off is what I imagine that means.
Forgot about the horse sign too.
Yeah, horse sign.
Rock.
We're just gonna falling rock. Rocks are a big thing you don't want to do.
Good thing you don't have a huge windshield over your head.
Right. Rock just comes through. By the way, even in the heat, the windshield does a really good job.
It is also tinted.
Oh, you double tinted it.
Yeah.
Well,
70%.
I can tell. All right, y'all holding on?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. No vibration really from the half shafts in this mode, as much at least, because now the suspension's kind of locked down. So I guess we'll just cruise behind this truck for a bit and then we'll find a good section of road. It feels so funny just to have such a big car accelerate like that.
It's really cool.
Well, just imagine seeing it from the outside.
Yeah, just, well, the Hummer EV was the oddest sensation. You go into a corner and it just flops over.
What was the weight on the Hummer?
9,000 pounds. What tire pressure is about 50 psi?
Yeah.
The car recommends a pretty high pressure.
Yeah.
One for the weight, but also for rolling resistance.
Yeah.
And it's just impressive how efficient it is as well.
Yeah, I don't get that. I expected worse.
Yeah. Do you think it's more efficient than your Model S?
I mean, they have the same range, but 21-inch wheels versus
the
these
standard
20s.
So it is about the same.
Yeah. I think it's the same target efficiency, but also like the Model S really got like 396 with the smaller wheels in the Plaid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm. And after I got the 19-inch wheels, I just changed it to the 19-inch ones on the app, and and it gave me like the full range.
Right, just showed display
Yeah.
calculation change there to get the...
And I actually got like really close to it too.
Here's that car group we saw earlier, Veloster, Rex, Type R. Nice, good cars. That Veloster end's pretty sweet. It's one of the only cars that allows you to keep your factory warranty for track days. So, I mean, it's not like this is as good of a road as I thought it was going to be. And we're definitely kind of stuck behind the truck here.
Maybe they'll pull over.
Wow, the brakes don't do anything.
Yeah.
So first of all, the regen amount is not crazy high. That's max regen, even uphill. So Tesla, because they don't use a blended brake approach, the brake pedal's fully friction. They can't really go crazy on the amount of regen off throttle because it would make it a drivability issue. Now, Tesla Model S Plaid and Model 3 Performance have track mode, which increases the amount of off-throttle regen to try and stuff as much back into the battery as possible. But here in the Model X, no track mode, even in Plaid, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like the
think
Model
so.
Y Performance. You can't even get that.
Yeah, but Elon said 3 years ago we were going to get track mode to Model Y, and it hasn't happened. Been waiting for it though. That really, the car could use it. It handles really well. I once did a full track review of the Model Y and was very impressed with it. But here, of course, I mean, just my gut feeling is, yeah, enough regen for daily driving. Up here in the canyons, you're going to be using a lot of friction brake, and I imagine they're the same brakes that were on your Plaid.
Probably.
And yeah, don't hold up to constant hard braking abuse and stuff. What I think we should do is probably pull over, let this truck go ahead, and then now that we're in the twisties, have some fun. Yeah, so you can tow 5,000 pounds with this thing, right?
I guess.
We should test it.
I have towed with Model X before, so wide
Does it have
open
a hitch
throttle.
under there? Does it come with a hitch?
You holding on,
Yeah,
Brandon?
I think, yeah.
Thanks
in
for
the
letting me
front.
rip your car.
Don't
Traction
crash it.
control already. Don't worry, if I crash it, I'll buy it. Let's not hit people though.
New policy.
New policy. Yeah, this is Out of Spec refined. Try to avoid people.
What do they call the more expensive Ubers?
Uber X.
Uber X. This is Out of Spec X.
Out of Spec X. Yeah, being kind and courteous to fellow road users. Big power. So the brakes have a lot of power, but you gotta go way deep in the pedal. Like just really freaking deep in the pedal to get them to respond.
The seats are sturdy though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
So
really
what's your
holds it.
third row review, Zach?
No human being should be back here for more than an hour,
Really?
unless you're a kid under 5 feet.
Well, I actually thought the back seats were pretty roomy. Jordan, you can move your seat forwards.
No, I feel like Jordan's good.
I'm
Like
about-
it's just, yeah, Jordan's pretty far up there.
Yeah, it's more.
It's for your left knee.
This is
My
my
left knee.
Right, the outside knee and then
Yeah,
then
the headroom.
the seat to headroom.
I think
Like,
this is the
If
most
Kyle
amount
hits
of,
a solid bump, I'm going through the glass.
It's like the only time
for
my car will be completely full.
yeah, it's, I was going to
So
say
then
this
go
is the
slash.
most amount of
Yeah.
reviewers we've ever had in one car.
But I will say the air conditioning is nice back here. When they moved the digital AC control, I got a nice flow back here now. So
Very nice. And how's the second row review, Jordan?
really pretty solid. My seat is as far up as I can make it, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, is this
No,
another
you can see
Tesla
that.
owner?
It's pretty comfy.
Hey, Tesla bros. Camping with his Model S. That's sweet. Just roadside.
Oh, we got the V6 rental car in front of us.
Yeah, we got the V6 Charger in front.
Yeah.
Are they going to pull over? Yes. Yes.
Come on.
Do it. Do it.
They thought about
They're
it.
thinking about it.
No, he's looking at the GPS.
Wait, how do we put the headlights on this thing?
You can just flash them right there.
I don't need to flash them. I just want them on. Lights on.
The
There
car
we
needs
go.
to be more noticeable.
Yeah, but the bright blue wrap is not enough. Well, I think our performance driving review of the X is not that needed, but I think that's okay because no one's really going to be ripping around an X, and you really should not be ripping around these things. These things handle like crap.
oh god.
Ooh.
They're terrible.
What, those little 3-wheel things?
Yeah, what are they?
Oh, there we go.
Slingshots?
Slingshot,
Yeah, not
There we go.
not into it. Thank you for pulling over. All right, so let's just put space between us and whatever's in front of us, and as soon as we get to a corner, we'll start seeing how it handles. But I have to say, just even these little movements, it's pretty freaking soft. You feel this thing move around, and honestly, we have a lot of people in it, so it's not, oh, we're not even in very low. I was doing the car a disservice. I like how they have a ride height and then a little info button to tell you what ride height means.
I know who's buying these cars.
Whoa, hands up out of the CLS. What is going on in Vegas today? Yeah, definitely just as soft as it was before. Let's rip it. So, coming in. brakes on the way in, and just big power traction control flashing away, and then it gives us the juice. It is still quite a big car to hustle around corners, but it does it. It honestly, like in terms of numbers on paper, speeds are pretty high if you were to like really hammer it. We're of course not pushing it.
I wish we had like a heat gun to tell how hot the brakes are after this.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of drive the car in a way, like if you're just going for a cruise like we are, where you try and maximize the amount of regen possible. But the hard thing is on the downhills, slowing the car enough for a corner could be pretty tough with just the regen that it has. Because look, it's dropping speed pretty slowly off throttle.
And that's full regen.
And we're down to 42%. Didn't we start this at 70 like a few miles ago?
Wow.
Wait, what's our trips since last charge?
Oh my.
746 watt-hour per mile. So you can be really efficient in the X, or you could be, really
What does that equate to?
That's just under 1 mile, or just over 1 mile per kilowatt hour. So it's like 1.4, something like that, I think. Look at that.
With 3 kilowatt hours, you go 4 miles.
Right, roughly.
So I gotta ask you, what kind of looks do you get in this car? Like, what's the general, like, do people like not like it? Do they like it?
I don't know. Every time I get a wrap, it doesn't matter. There's people that love it, people that hate it.
What do people on TikTok think?
For the most part, they liked it. There was people that like, you should have kept it white, but it doesn't matter because like, it doesn't matter what I do. There's gonna be people that don't like it.
Of course.
Got a compliment on it yesterday.
Yeah, I was literally driving this, like, dude walked by and was like, nice wrap.
Nice. I mean, when you drive it kind of like this at just normal cruising pace, it's balanced, it's controlled. There's zero steering feedback, but I mean, it's a heavy car, so that's to be expected. I mean, it's really not bad. 8,000 feet of elevation up here. We've lost 30 degrees of temperature in this one review. And when you stand on the throttle, it uses the rear axle, so it's not understeering. It definitely, put all that weight on that outside back tire. Felt good. I mean, the stuff it does is all very grown up. It's all very predictable. It all feels good. I just think, from my perspective, having my hands at this very weird angle is a bit, it's just not good for performance driving. But it's fine for around town, I guess. And yeah, the car itself feels nice. All right, so now that we know the road and we know it's kind of empty, let's turn around and go up it. And that's a lot of brakes. I can't believe the brakes are already getting toasty. So, U-turn. Should we see really quick? If we go drag strip mode now that it's hot, it says 8 minutes remaining for peak performance. So we've definitely got it on the warm side.
Yeah.
So left foot down, flooring it with the right, preparing for launch.
Where are you gonna launch it?
Yeah, right into the trees. Ready to launch? Let's go. It doesn't really kick that hard off the line. And then traction control. And then really nice, actually, that we had a little on-throttle rotation there.
Poor Ruby.
That felt good. That's all positive. It just needs a track mode, It's good on the throttle. The motors sound good. Ruby, we're almost done. I'm sorry. We're just nailing it up the hill. But good, consistent performance. Even though the battery pack is a little bit toasty, it just pulls, and it does it without much fuss. So there you have it, the Tesla Model X 2022 long range dual motor. It's the one to buy over the Plaid, in my opinion. $105,000 because you ordered it pretty early.
Yeah.
$125,000 if you were to get one today.
Yep.
What's a Plaid? How much more is a Plaid?
They're right now the Plaid is like starts at 140, I think. And
that's not as big of a price delta as I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's 30,000. I would have got it for $35,000 more.
Well, 35, yeah. Anyway,
I have another one ordered for 131.
Well, that's what you should do next.
Yeah, if I can delay it long enough.
Yeah, Tesla Model X Plaid coming to a TikTok channel near you soon. Maybe. Maybe. Thanks so much for letting us use your car for the review, and really impressed overall with just the build quality, in my opinion. The software's been a little bit glitchy in this car. Yeah,
it's a new car. That's probably part of why they delayed it, but it seems like a few Model X's are having issues with firmware.
And it's not all of them either, right?
It seems, I think it's just the new charge port ones, honestly, because every single person I've talked to that has had the issue is gone in the last month.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely they need some software tweaks. Tesla's good about software. They've proven themselves.
There's a new update already coming.
There's a new update, yeah. So I guess the software doesn't concern me on this car.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about
If it was just happening to me, I'd be a little more concerned.
Right, but I mean, I'm pretty confident in Tesla's ability to get software right, to be honest. And let's pull next to this Model Y, and it doesn't, I'm into the X. I think if you're gonna get an S or an X, like, and you're just cruising around town, just get an X. So nice, big and airy.
Yeah,
you can tow with it.
Feels too low to me.
Yeah, the S is low, but like S Plaid with track mode and some mods. Drew, you just experienced something like that. It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video, and let us know if you want more Tesla stuff to come on the channel. We all love Tesla in this car, I think, so we, yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Well, now we're back where we started. Had an absolutely awesome time driving this up in the hills. I think it's really such a solid car, but I am noticing a couple little software quirks here and there. This had reset a couple times, but that's early days. We spoke about that. One last thing is the auto doors with the new motors don't like to open very quickly. They like to take their sweet time, and that's a little bit annoying. But I guess also everything here can be fixed with software. Here it is, doesn't know the temperature, freaking out. I guess these new cars require a little bit different software. There's these new cars with the new charge port than the last ones, and I guess they just didn't have it fully, totally tweaked in time. Also, one last thing, this car on a road trip is just awesome. These guys road tripped it over here. It's fantastic. 250 kilowatt charging reliably, great battery pack cooling, awesome thermal management, good route planning, of course, plug and charge capability with the supercharger network. You're not just buying the car when it comes to an electric vehicle, you're buying into a network. And although we just had to wait and charge, and we made a little video about it for this channel, the supercharger network is seamless, reliable, and the car gets you there with great preconditioning so you can take advantage of fast charging speeds. There's just so many other benefits that sometimes I don't even mention when it comes to Tesla, because it's just a sort of a known quantity. They're just so good. By far, when people still come to me and they say, look, I'm looking for an electric car and I don't really want to fuss around with too much adventurous stuff, I'm just like, yep, just get one of these. They are great, and obviously they have 4 main models, hopefully more to come soon. Really looking forward to driving the Cybertruck one day and making some videos with that. It's going to be very interesting. Not sure I'm personally into it, but I just can't wait. Tesla knows how to build an amazing drivetrain, great battery packs. They last a really long time. If you haven't taken a look, take a look at our Model 3 videos. I haven't shown you the front trunk. I'll do that really quick. So let me just pop that here on the key, pop, and there you go. Front trunk, plenty of room, plenty of space. That's awesome. Oh guys, I just took one last look here at the end of the video, and I noticed this little extra camera here in the sensor. Also, these orange lines are new in the sensor. I don't know if that's for heating.
It's for melting stuff on top.
So it already had a heating element before, but I guess they just changed their strategy, I think. And is that a rain sensor? That's pretty interesting. I'm not sure, but we all know Teslas have always had the worst windshield wipers, and maybe, how is it in the rain? Have you had it yet?
No, I think it's no more rain yet.
You'll have to let us know how it is in the rain, if it responds better than before. I don't actually know what that sensor is. I know someone in our audience probably does. Let us know. Thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.